right, what's up, y'all? I got that huge QR code right in my face. That's awesome. Unless Dizzy or Mandy comes on, we'll have to deal with it. So we got a verdict in Daybell. Old Pumpkinhead, old Potato Head himself is about to find out his fate, and I'm here for it. I'm sure you guys are here for it too. I'm going to stream it actually from Judge Boyce's Zoom. Figure that's it's got to be as good as anything else. Let me see if I can put a different dude on here. Let me see. Oh, no. I don't know how to get rid of this one. It's weird. Wait, different brands. Can you see new brand? I don't know. Let me see. I could do this guy. No, that's worse. This guy. No, that's the one I'm using. I mean, I'll just lean over here. So the QR code. So, look, this guy's going down. I have zero doubt about that. I mean, I just feel very, very secure in the fact that he is going to be found guilty on all counts. I don't think, and that's with Jay and I like pivoting and not following that trial beyond. I think we did about 10 days of it. But I was keeping track, keeping a beat on it. And it sounded like they really had increased, the case against him as it progressed. Like that first 10 days was kind of a slow burn. And it picked up a lot of speed from what I was reading and watching as it went down. So I'm keeping an eye on this guy here. And I am anxious to hear this verdict. So the way that it will go, he'll be sentenced today. And he'll be the verdict will come down today. And then what they will do is they will end up setting a sentencing date. In order to do that, they'll do they'll call it a pretrial sentencing report. That's typically done, like in our state, it's done by kind of the probation office. They'll have people go out and interview certain people. They'll interview Daybell and then give background history, all that kind of stuff. And then at that point, they will end up giving some kind of recommendation. And then ultimately, there's going to be the sentencing, and the sentencing is going to be a thing in and of itself. I wish that we could, depending on when that goes, it's possible that sentencing in this could be beyond the Reed trial. I know that there were some that were disappointed that we pivoted. It wasn't easy to watch. Like I see Lily B here. We did stream it. We streamed it for 10 days, but it was like all on Zoom and it just stunk. I didn't like the fact that we couldn't really see the witnesses. Everybody was like, it was a Zoom screen. We're going to see it again today. It just didn't make for good streaming. That's the bottom line. Because I always had a big interest in this case because Allie and I had covered Lori Vallow's case. So for us, we had a vested interest in it because we had done so much research into Lori's case that we knew quite a bit about it in the background. But I really wanted to do Reed. I've just been fascinated with that case as well. And I liked that case because of the fact that it's one of those rare cases where the defense had laid out their theory of their case like long beforehand. So we had these kind of battling things. Dizzy, can you come in the back and fix this thing up so that when I put this up, that this QR code's not covering my face? If you're still in here, come on back, girl. The water is fine. See, I need my people. Without my people, I'm lost. I'm helpless with my tech ignorance. I agree, Amy. I think the Reed case is fascinating. And to be honest with you, I just feel like this case is a foregone conclusion. As a matter of fact, I want to see if there's anybody that's been following Daybell day by day. And I know that there has been a lot of people that are part of the fam. Hey, Mandy, thank you. Fix it for me. I'm going to put it up, and so you guys can work with it so that it's I'm visible, because I can't figure out. Oh, yeah, that'll work. That's better. That's better. Yeah, that'll work too. Either way, you guys are so good. Look at it. Look at that. Like, they came in 10 seconds. Would have taken me like an hour to figure it out. So, but like anybody who's following Daybell day by day, does anybody think that he's going to be not guilty? That that's going to be the verdict? Like, anyone? I'm curious. Like, to me, this thing was. We don't know yet. We don't know yet, Mills. That's what we're doing here. We're waiting for. It's supposed to start it now. It's supposed to start 2 minutes ago. I've got it open here. I am live, so it hasn't started yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. So let me make sure I don't have this thing on mute. Okay. Boop. All right. So we don't have any sound there. All right. So we're live. There's John Pryor and the thumb sitting there. People are coming in. I'm sure we have a lot of family members in there. Tammy's family, JJ and Tylee's family are both in there. All right, we got action. What do you think, Riley?
Thank you. Please be seated.
She's watched all of it. What do you think? Guilty all day? Like, he's guilty. He's 100% guilty. I didn't have to watch the whole thing. Don't worry, Amy. I feel very confident. I rarely miss. The only one
I apologize. It'll take me a moment here to get logged on, and then we'll get started.
All right, he's getting logged on. See, his Zoom's way better. Like, maybe Jay and I, like, I don't know if the Zoom like this would have been doable. Like, the thing that Jay and I were streaming was awful. There were 4 screens, and it was no good. It was like a distance. It's almost like, are they in a different courtroom? No, they've got the windows closed there. He's definitely in the same courtroom. The state looks very confident. They look very confident. Chad, not so much. Chad does not look very confident right there. That is not the look. What is going on now? What do I have running in the background now? Oh, good God. Okay, we'll shut this down.
Okay, we're on the record on case CR 22-21-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell. The court's been advised that the jury has reached a verdict. The court will note the parties are present. The state's present with Mr. Wood, Miss Blake, Mr. Wixom, and Miss Beatty. Mr. Pryor's here representing the defendant, Mr. Daybell, and the court at this time is going to instruct the jurors to please be brought into the courtroom. That will include our alternate jurors as well to be seated. And then I will have the marshal get the verdict form from the jury once they return to the courtroom. So if they can come in at this time, we'll have them brought in.
All right, please.
This is definitely live. Joey Jackalone, welcome, my friend. This guy is toast. This guy is toast. So yeah, it sounds like they deliberated for just over five and a half hours.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Is God going to save Chad? That's the $1 million question. Is God going to save him?
All right, the court's going to next just make a reference that there is a courtroom conduct order in effect in this proceeding to remain in effect. So I appreciate everyone complying with that order, as most of you have done throughout the proceedings in this case. At this time, then, the first matter I'd like to take up is to do a roll call of the jury for the record. So, Madam Clerk, if you could please conduct a roll call of our jury to make sure they're all present and properly seated at this time.
Juror number 1, red card number 27. Juror number 2, red card number 219. Juror number 4, red card number 631. Juror number 5, red card number 653. Juror number 7, red card number 752. Juror number 8, red card 1680. Juror number 9, red card number 823. Juror number 10, red card 1358. Juror number 11, red card 1365. Juror number 12, red card 716. Juror number 14, red card 997. And juror number 15, red card 1078.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for conducting the roll call. All right, at this time, I'm next going to inquire from the jury foreperson. Has the jury reached a verdict? All right, thank you. Mr. Bailiff, if you would please retrieve the verdict from the jury foreperson.
Oh boy, here we go.
Thank you.
Here we go. Yeah, this one is not tough to call. It's not a tough call on this one. Oh,
All right, the court has reviewed the verdict form. I'll note that all counts have been properly marked, as well as the verdict forms have been properly dated and signed by the foreperson. The next step then is Mr. Daybell, if you and counsel would please rise. I'm going to have the clerk read the verdict.
oh my God. I think Chad's like literally shitting in his pants a little bit. Like literally though. Just a little turtle
In the
heading.
District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho and for the County of Fremont. State of Idaho plaintiff versus Chad Guy Daybell defendant. Case number CR 22211623. Verdict. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Guilty.
Boop.
Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Guilty.
Boop.
Question number 3. In regards to count 3 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Guilty.
Boop.
Question number 4. In regards to count 4 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Guilty.
Boop. Big one.
Question number 5. In regards to count 5 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Guilty. Question number 6. In regards to count 6 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Guilty. Question number 7. In regards to count 7 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of insurance fraud? Guilty. Question number 8. In regards to count 8 of the amended indictment, in regards to count 9 of the amended indictment, is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of insurance fraud? Guilty. Dated this 30th day of May, 2024, and signed by the presiding juror.
There you go. Guilty on all counts.
All right, Madam Clerk, thank you for reading the verdict. At this time, I'm just going to collectively ask the jurors, all of you, is this in fact your unanimous verdict on each of those counts? Very well. At this time, I'm going to inquire if the parties wish to have the jury pulled. Does the state wish to have the jury pulled?
Sure.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Does the defense, Mr. Pryor, wish to have the jury pulled?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very well, then. I'm going to direct the clerk to record the verdict. At this time, then, this does conclude the guilt phase of this trial. Because the defendant has been convicted on counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, the state has filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty, and so a second phase of this trial, called the sentencing phase, will be taking place next. We're going to take a recess at this time for approximately an hour. We will come back on the record and begin with the start of that sentencing phase of the trial. I would like to remind everyone that this courtroom conduct order is still in application throughout these proceedings. Thank you all for complying with that. We are going to take that recess at this time. Mr. Daybell is to remain in custody at this time for the commencement of the sentencing phase. And with that, thank you all, and we will be in recess.
Holy
right, please.
smokes. I was not expecting that. So much for the pretrial sentencing report. They're going right into sentencing. Holy shit. That is crazy. Wow. All right. So I think it would make sense. I don't know if we'll hang for the whole hour, but I definitely want to try to pull up. Let me see if I can pull up. I want to see the sentencing. I want to check out their system out there, because it's different in every state. It's death penalty, obviously is not something that is universal in terms of it. Some states have banned it, others have not. All right, Death Penalty Information Center. I saw a decent. All right, so let's see. Let me see if this thing's any good. All right, so this is the actual statute. Let me pull that guy up. Okay, so let's stop screen sharing that. And let's throw this guy up and see what is up. So, okay, I'm going to try to make this bigger so y'all can pimp it, see it. All right, so this is the statute here in Idaho. I made it a little too big, aggressively big. Okay. All right. So let's read through this. Let's learn. Today's a good learning day. So sentencing capital cases, which this is obviously that. Statutory aggravating circumstances, special verdict, or written findings. So a person convicted of murder in the first degree, which Chad is that, very much that, as we just found out, shall be liable for the imposition of the penalty of death if such person killed, intended a killing, or acted with reckless indifference to human life, irrespective of whether such person directly committed the acts that caused the death. 2, where a person is sentenced to serve a term in the penitentiary after conviction of a crime which falls within the provisions of Section 20-1005, except in cases where the court retains jurisdiction, the comments and arguments of counsel for the state and the defendant relative to the sentencing and the comments of the judge relative to the sentencing shall be recorded. Okay. 3 is where we're getting into it. Where a person is convicted of an offense which may be punishable by death, a death sentence shall not be imposed unless a notice of intent to seek the death penalty was filed and served as provided in Section 18-4004A of the Idaho Code. We know that was done. B, that the jury or the court, if a jury is waived, there is the jury, so the jury is also making the decision whether or not he's going to get the death penalty. Some states, it's done by a judge. Some states it's done by a judge of a panel of judges, 3 judges. It's that way, I think, in Omaha and Nebraska, and also I think it's that way in Florida as well, where they have a panel of judges that decide it. So the judge or the court, if the jury is waived, finds beyond a reasonable doubt at least one statutory aggravating circumstance. Where a statutory aggravating circumstance is found, the defendant shall be sentenced to death unless mitigating circumstances which may be presented are found to be sufficiently compelling that the death penalty would be unjust. The jury shall not direct imposition of a sentence of death unless it is unanimously, it finds that at least one statutory aggravating circumstance and unanimously determines that the penalty of death shall be imposed. So, like, when they're dealing with like Vordaer in the beginning of the case, when they're picking the jury, that was like a big part of, you know, that process. Like, all the jurors were asked, are you going to have an issue if he's found guilty, giving him the death penalty if it's warranted? Like, do you have a moral issue with it where you won't be able to do it? And, you know, everybody said, no, I'll follow the law. And the law is that. So the law is very, very clear that the jury shall not direct imposition of a death sentence unless it unanimously finds, one, the statutory aggravating circumstance, and unanimously determines that the penalty of death should be imposed. So they've got to find unanimously that there's an aggravating factor and that they want to give him the death penalty. All right. So, all right, let's see if this one's worth reading. Notwithstanding any court rule to the contrary, when a defendant is adjudicated guilty of murder in the first degree, whether by acceptance of a plea of guilty, by verdict of a jury, or by decision of the trial court sitting without a jury, no pre-sentence investigation shall be conducted. There you go. Provided, however, that if a special sentencing proceeding is not held, or if a special sentencing proceeding is held, but no statutory aggravating circumstances has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So we have a burden as well for the aggravating circumstances. The court may order that a pre-sentence investigation will be conducted. All right, let's see if we can find the aggravating. Okay, so let's skip through down to what the aggravating circuit. So these are the things. So the jury's going to have to find that at least one of these applies. Okay, unanimously. So the following are statutory aggravating circumstances, at least one of which must be found to exist beyond a reasonable doubt before a sentence of death can be imposed. So A, that the defendant was previously convicted of another murder, so that one will not apply here. That B, at the time of the murder was committed, the defendant also committed another murder. That one applies. C, the defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to many persons. That one applies. D, the murder was committed for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration. And that's basically hiring a hitman to do it. Okay. So that one may apply if you're buying the Alex theory that he is the one who was doing the dirty deeds, and at the behest of, we can now say with great confidence and convictions in hand, both Lori and Chad. So that'll be interesting. E, that the murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity. I don't know. I consider the killing of 2 children, saying that they're on the darkness scale, is pretty atrocious and cruel, and it manifests exceptional depravity. That checks in my book. F, by the murder or circumstances surrounding its commission, the defendant exhibited utter disregard for human life. Check. G, the murder was committed in perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate arson, rape, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, or mayhem and the defendant killed, intended to killing, or acted with reckless disregard to human life. I don't think that G will apply, but don't worry, kids. We have plenty of other ones that do. And remember, only one of these that we've read thus far must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt to the jury in order for them to have the ability to sentence him to death. H, the murder was committed in perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate lewd and lascivious conduct with a minor, sexual abuse of a child under 16 years of age, ritualized abuse of a child, sexual exploitation of a child, sexual battery of a minor child 16 or 17 years of age, or forcible sexual penetration by use of a foreign object, and the defendant killed, intended to killing, or acted with reckless indifference to human life. H does not apply here, as far as we know. I, the defendant, by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, or after the commission of the murder at hand, has exhibited a propensity to commit murder, which will probably constitute a continuing threat to society. I would say absolutely. If they did not stop these two, I have zero doubt that they would have continued killing people. Zero doubt. Absolutely zero doubt. So I think personally that particular that I does apply, because I think that they were absolutely a continued threat to society. I think it would have been endless. Like anybody that was like standing in their way in any way, shape, or form would then make it onto the darkness scale, and then they would kill them. J, that the murder was committed against a former or present peace officer, so that one's not going to apply. Or K, that the murder was committed against a witness or a potential witness in a criminal or civil legal proceeding because of such proceeding. So I think we've got about 7 of the aggravating circumstances that will apply, maybe 8, arguably. I have zero doubt that they're going to find many of them. Like, and to be honest with the prosecution just can land on one. And we know by way of the guilty verdict in and of itself that they believe that, Chad obviously committed the murders, and they didn't really need to do it through, like actual visible proof that somebody saw him do it. They were able to prove the case through very powerful circumstantial evidence. All right. So let's go back up and see. So I just wanted to get you guys so we knew what the aggravating circumstances were. All right. I want to see what I'd like to see is if they list the mitigating circumstances. Like, I don't know. So mitigating like that's where Pryor would come up and he would say, look, these are the things that we think mitigate it to the point where even though there were aggravating, that we think that you can't sentence him to death because, I don't know, was he going to say that Lori had her spell? He had him like casted within the spell. So yeah, Jay says this. I do not disagree. I think that the firing squad was absolutely brought back. So here's the deal with the firing squad with respect to Idaho. So kind of the rule is with the firing squad is that they have to not have accessibility to kind of the potion, the death potion that they use for lethal injection. Okay. So like they have to say, all right, it's not available. We can't get the certain ingredients that we need to make this kind of mix that we use to typically give people lethal injection when we're putting them to death. If they can show that that's not available to them and they can't get it at that point, they then can go to the firing squad. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that that firing squad thing, that's like some old timey, old West shit. Like if they're gonna put the dude to death, I think the firing squad's appropriate here. I mean, put him out there, Like, and it's basically, it's like the question that I have, and I think that it's multiple because they don't want one officer in particular feeling guilty that they're putting them to that. Not that they would, but I mean, that might weigh on you, if you're like, oh man, like I've never taken somebody's life before. So I think what they typically do is that they'll put multiple officers out there and they'll do a countdown and they all fire simultaneously. So no one actually knows which shot killed them. It's kind of to relieve those officers that have that duty to administrate the firing squad, that doesn't weigh on them in particular, one person in particular. They'll always be like, I don't know if it was my shot, it might have been his shot, or they may be arguing like in the back. Oh, I put him down. It was my shot. I'm a crack shot. I put him down. I know it was me, so I so what do you guys, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What do you think? Remember in the old days when obviously none of us were alive, that they used to have like public hangings? Would you guys, let me ask you this, and it's kind of a gruesome question. I realize this ahead of time, but what would you guys think about a live stream of a firing squad death penalty? Would you guys watch it? Like, before you just say yes right away, just think about it for a second. Like, if they were to say, okay, we think that this will be very effective deterrent for people that are thinking about committing heinous crimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to televise or stream the firing squad putting Chad Daybell down. Would we watch it? So Riley, no. Spicy Capri, no. Katie thinking long and hard. Nope. Absolutely not. Nope. Wouldn't watch it. Probably. No. That's not an answer to the question, but very true. No. Nah, couldn't do it. Ditch Pickle. Hell yes. For Chad, I'd watch. No way. Kyle, a big hard yes on watching it. Absolutely not. Not unless he killed my family. Could not watch it. Nope, no way. Jen, she's in. It could be a deterrent. It could be. Well, but like, I've always argued that, somebody who's got murder on their mind, they're not thinking about the punishment after the fact. They're if it's something that somebody's determined to do, meaning that they're premeditating it and they're already in that mindset that like, I'm killing this person and like they've wronged me, or they construe that they've been wronged in such a way that that person deserves to die. Like that, they're not worried about the penalty. Like I've never thought, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I've never believed that the death penalty was an actual deterrent to people committing murder, because it's typically either premeditated and planned out, and clearly they know that if they live in a state that is a death penalty state, that is a likely end for them, or it's a spontaneous thing, or it's something that happens in the heat of the moment. And because like the premeditation aspect of it is very short. Like, you don't have to be premeditating, planning shit for weeks or months. Like cases have come down where premeditation can happen in seconds. So I don't think that I could watch it either. Like, I'm not good with stuff like that. Emily, yes. We got some late yeses. Deb, a yes. Mama Hugs, a no. Fiend. All right. I'll put a poll up, Fiend. You're right. All right. You guys will have to, I'll probably have music playing and shit. All right. Let me see. I'm going to go. I'm going to put this thing. See, you guys hear that? All right. So, okay. Let me make a poll. All right. Okay. All right. So, would you watch a firing squad put, I have a typo. Hold on. Put Chad down. Okay. So yes. No. I could tell by our all right, I'm starting the poll there. You guys start voting. Let's see what's up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. Like, honestly. It depends, like they're going for chest shots. I think like headshots, like I don't think they'd go for headshots. I don't know though. Like I think they would go for the heart. I think that they'd horrendous. No way. Don Burke, thank you for the $10. The last guy on death row in Idaho, they couldn't get the line in, so it didn't go off. Yeah. Oddly enough, in Gacy's execution, there was something wrong with the line too. I'm sure no one was feeling any sympathy for Gacy having to suffer for a bit while he was getting put down. Yeah, Kelsey's all about it. She's like, dude, Fiend, if Jay is making funny comments, oh man. Claire is a hard no. Jennifer Adams, a hard yes. Randy Marsh, in all seriousness, no. Anja, yes. Afton, 100%. I'm assuming that's an answer to that question. Let me check the poll, see where we're at. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Wow, it's 96 votes in. Woo, 50. This is like the whoa, it's at 50-50 now. That is like this is a barn burner poll. I want you all voting. Wow. That is all right. So 50-50 thus far. Surprising to me. All right. Yeah, I mean, they used to do it in the old days, like the hangings, the public hangings. I mean, like the people like cheering was kind of weird to me. Like, I don't know if I'd be cheering, throwing tomatoes. I don't know. It's hard to know unless I'm like so my father was invited. It's kind of a weird use of the term invited to Gacy's execution. And, I think him and Sam were both invited to go and observe it. And neither of them went. They went to a bar and just kind of watched the news reporting on it. And, he's like, that was like, the guy was obviously a giant piece of shit, but it's still your client. So there's a weird, like as horrible as that guy was, and he got exactly what he deserved. I think I can relate to that in the sense that, I mean, my dad really believed that Gacy was like irreparably mentally ill, and that it was, compulsion. So like, and he believed that he did, but it's like a case like that where you kill that many people. I don't think people give a shit if he's irreparably mentally ill. It's like you've got no use on the planet. Like you're like, and if the option is to put him in a mental health facility, and if there's a chance, and Bill Kunkel in the Gacy case was able to argue it to the jury that if they were to decide that he was not guilty by reason of insanity, that theoretically that there was a day that he could walk out of prison or out of the mental hospital if they deemed that he was like healed or fixed or whatever. Like as soon as the jury heard that, like, yeah, no, pass. No, but at this point, Illinois has outlawed the death penalty. They've taken it off the table. Let's see. I'm going to take another peek at the poll. Wow, 138 votes. It's 49% yes, 51% no. That's a dead heat. That is a dead heat. So that's it. It's just like America. That's like watching a presidential election right there. You know, half the people are in, half the people are out. It's interesting though. It's interesting. So let me see if I can find anything interesting in the statute here. If the jury finds the statute, okay. Let me see if I can. I'd like to find the mitigation. Let me see if I can find mitigating. Mitigating. Legislature. Boop boop. All right, let me do a better search than that. Let me do mitigation for death penalty. Nothing. God damn it. Nothing's easy in this world, kids. So yeah, this is what it's like to be a nerd lawyer, just like reading statutes, trying to figure shit out. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Guilty plea, no, we've read through that. The sentence, special sentencing, entitled to present all relevant evidence in aggravation and mitigation. Disclosure of evidence shall be relied on in the sentencing proceeding, shall be made in accordance with Idaho Criminal Rule 16. Okay. Evidence admitted at trial should be considered not to be repeated at. Okay, so that's interesting. Evidence that was admitted at trial shall be considered and need not be repeated at the sentencing hearing. So essentially, it sounds to me very much like the state can basically just tell Judge Boyce, look, you heard it, or tell the jury, you heard it all. You know, like you heard the evidence. And we think that these particular aggravating circumstances apply. You know, boom. At the time the murder was committed, the defendant also committed another murder. No, but the defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to many persons. Yes. You know, I mean, like a ton of these apply. This will be interesting. What I'm really interested to see is whether or not Pryor is going to put any mitigation on. And I have to say that he should, because if he doesn't, you know, they can appeal the sentencing phase of this as well. So they can obviously appeal the conviction, but they can also, because it's a different phase, like entirely. Like they could decide, okay, well, we think that there were no real appellate issues that are winnable with the trial phase, but we do think because, like, if Pryor goes in and just mails it in, you know, and says, you know, dude sucks, you should go down, that is something that they can appeal that as well. So we want to see Pryor at least put something on in mitigation. That way we don't have to worry about, you know, because it's like I talk about it all the time, and Jay and I were talking about Adnan Syed a little earlier today in that case. And it's like when you think about families that, you know, feel like they got whatever form of justice it is, and you know, and I've always felt that if I've had a loved one ripped away from me, that I don't know how much better I'm feeling that the person that did it is punished. I mean, obviously I want them punished. I don't think it's healing me very much. You know, I think I'm still going to be just as miserable and heartbroken as I always was, you know, and struggling through to kind of live day by day, missing that person forever. You know, but it's the best that we can do. We can't bring people back. So obviously, you know, we want to see people punished, but, you know, at the end of the day, like, once somebody's convicted, this appellate process, which we have to have it because trials aren't perfect. We have to have the appellate process, because if one innocent person is convicted, I mean, then the system's, and we have no relief for it, the system's broken. We have to have the ability to be able to undo a mistake that's been made, that's put an innocent person either on death row or in prison, maybe for the rest of their life. I mean, we don't want to have a system that gives no avenues to right that wrong. So what that means is that it's available to everyone, you know, and obviously a majority of people appeal their convictions. A vast majority of them are denied. It's very rare for appeals to, like, once you're in the system, it's near impossible to get out. I mean, look at Scott Peterson. That turd's still trying to get out, you know, like he's got some version of an innocence project, you know, claiming that this DNA in this van needs to be tested. And like, that was a hearing. I think that's, like, I don't know if that was going down today too. There's a lot of shit going on. There was another Koberger hearing today. Jay was covering the Becky Hill thing. Obviously this is going down. So I'm kind of glad that Reed was, this is like a nice way for us to close the Daybell coverage, since we abandoned it. And like everybody that was watching that, Jay and I did feel guilty, you know, we felt bad to pivot like that. But like I said, to be honest with you, like behind closed doors, Jay and I, like, we were like, man, the sound is not great and the picture sucks. It's like, you want to be able to watch a trial like they have it with Reed, where like you've got close-ups of the witness. It's like just much more compelling when you're sitting there for like 6 hours. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Scott Peterson. So Callie Dimes, so Scott Peterson went on yesterday. They were asking for 14 items to be tested, and the judge approved one. What was it, Callie? Was it with the DNA? And okay, they agreed to, Bill says they agreed to retest the duct tape for DNA, and Peterson denied the others. All right. Tell me more about the duct tape. Was there duct tape that they found in that van? Is that what it is? Diz, are you saying yes to that? Because I have not been keeping up with Scott Peterson. Like, I've got way too much on my plate. So I don't know. It is verdict day. Are you just getting here, Emily? If you are, you missed it. Chad guilty, all counts. It's going down. Yeah. So, I mean, there you go. There you go. Okay, so good. You guys are giving me some deets. The tape was on Lacey's leg when they found her, or Stacy's leg, right? They did not have the tools to test the DNA like they do now. Okay. All right. So they want to test. I like that, because that could give us a definitive answer on Scott too, right? I mean, it's kind of like a big risk for the defense. You know, like, oh yeah, why don't you do the DNA on the tape? I mean, Scott's gonna be like, let's take a shot. You know, it's like, you know, maybe the store clerk's DNA is on there at the Myers or the Menards or Home Depot, whoever sold the duct tape. You know, I mean, that's interesting though, because I mean, that could easily just end the Scott Peterson conversation permanently if his DNA is on there. If it's not, and there's like another dude or two other dudes, maybe it gets weird. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think Scott Peterson did it? I'm curious. Let's see. A to Z, the Bears. Nice hat. Joe Schmo. Welcome, Joe Schmo. The storm. They're searching. Yeah. They're not searching for a verdict though. The verdict is in. Lori, I'm coming to join you, baby. There you go. I gave it to you, Shans. All right. So yes. Okay. Got a lot of resounding yeses on Chad Peterson. Yes, he did. Yes, Mystic Mama. Yes. All right, let me check the poll real quick. I mean, look, I'm ending the poll at 221. It's 49. Now, you know what? It's so close, and I'm going to keep it up. I mean, we're talking only oh my God, it just went to 50-50. I'm keeping the vote up. Everybody vote. Like, why are you being obstinate? There's 311 people in here. Everybody vote. Like, don't be afraid to vote. Like, it's a silent, like it's like what do they call it? Where it's hidden, whatever that word is. Brain farting. Let's see. He did it. He did it. Scott Peterson, guilty. Too many coincidences. Yes, yes, yes. Even if Scott's DNA is not on the tape, let's see. That it could be argued that said tape was just thrown in the lake and landed on Lacey before she was discovered. Agreed. I mean, there's a lot of circumstances in which that tape could have ended up on Lacey Peterson, you know? Yeah, I think I accidentally called her Stacy. Like, so we in Illinois, we had the Stacy Peterson case with Drew Peterson. It was one of the Peterson trifectas because we obviously had Michael Peterson, the staircase dude, and then we had Drew, the killer cop, the wife killer cop, and then obviously Scott Peterson. So there were a lot of Peterson cases going all at the same time. Well, around the same time. Wait, you don't see the poll? What? It's there. Spicy. You guys see the poll, right? People are voting. 243 votes. Spicy. It's there. Somebody help Spicy find the poll. So I don't know how to explain. Like when I'm looking at, like maybe it's harder to see on your phone. I'm on the computer. I don't know. If you're watching on your phone, maybe it's tough. Those cases happened around the same time. Yeah, they did. They were all kind of right around the same time. Oh my God. Drew Peterson is a total, like, knob is like too kind of a word to describe Drew Peterson. Which Peterson? There's many Petersons. Got a bad rap. Okay, AC, all the Petersons were guilty. Interesting. All right. Okay. So let me see. I still do want to find mitigating factors for death penalty and mitigating factors, death penalty, Idaho. God, my typing is brutal. You guys are getting to see it. Imagine when I'm typing my scripts, how painful it is. All right, let's see. Okay. Aggravating from no mitigating. Okay, so I don't know if that's for Idaho specific. Aggravating factors by state. I mean, the AI thing popped up. The robot says a mitigating factor, also known as an extenuating circumstance, is any fact or circumstance that reduces a defendant's culpability, for severity for a criminal offense. In Idaho, mitigating factors can be considered in capital cases, such as first-degree murder, when determining whether death penalty. Okay, wow, that was not helpful, bro. Like, I need what they are. That was not helpful. AI failing once again. I mean, this is just the statute. I'm surprised they don't list. Like our statute has both mitigating and aggravating. So we see it. So like he could be able to, like, I have to assume. Oh, thanks, Dizzy. Where'd you send it to me? Text? Let me see. Oh. Dizzy coming through in the clutch. All right, that's aggravating. Okay. Is the mitigating in there though, Diz? Oh my God, there's a verdict in Trump. Should we switch over to that real quick? Oh my God. All right, so we have 9 minutes. Should we? Oh my God, Dizzy is an amazing mod. All right, so let me. I think we have to go watch Trump. Holy shit, this is a crazy day. All right, let me see. Okay, Law and Crime Network. I mean, who's showing Trump? Live and upcoming. Do they have cameras in the courtroom in Trump? Like, is that something we can watch? Oh, yeah, they don't stream. That's right, Afton. Thank you. All right, we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Allie gave me that. All right, so let's keep an eye on the Trumpster and see what's going on with that case. Oh, the poll, 269 votes in. Yes has moved into the lead that they would, in fact, watch Chad get put down by a firing squad. All right, so wow. Oh man. Mandy, is that you getting heavy on the sound effects? Sounds like it. Sounds like she was getting a little ready to do a dun dun dun. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was
Get
terrible.
him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!
That was
That's-
wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
All right, I won't torture you with you. That's my favorite, my personal favorite of all the sound bites that we play. I think that one's great. Man, yeah, damn it. That's a shame. That is a shame.
Are you sure? Are you
That's-
sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, you got to pause it, Mandy. Otherwise, that one plays on repeat. All right, so let's see. Yeah,
Are you sure?
Mandy, you got the heavy thumb there on the. Let's see. All right, let's see. I got to go back to. All right, I want to get the zoom up. Okay. All right. So Nate Pepino, he always sends me the updates from. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, so just get this up there so that we're in there, ready to go when that goes. All right, live, because that's coming back and should be. I think he's going to be prompt with this. That's what I think is going to happen. All right. So yeah, because it's they're an hour behind us, so they'll be starting at 3. I mean, it could be quick. Oh, good. Got it. Like I almost had to do a News Nation thing tonight, and I just got called off. That's good. We got a pack for CrimeCon. Had a lot of shit to do tonight, so that's a relief. All right, so Dizzy, like your mandate right now, I need you keeping an eye on the Trump verdict. I want to know as soon as that thing goes down what the deal is with that. Okay. Let's see. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So Erica being helpful. No particular formula for considering mitigating circumstances when considering the death penalty is compelled by the Eighth Amendment. So that's the United States Constitution, State v. CVAC. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I like. So you do not, Jinxie, you do not think. All right, that's new poll. I'm ending that poll, and we will do. Do you think will Chad get the death penalty? I mean, if I'm Pryor, to be honest with you, I'm arguing that he didn't have like independent thought, that he was like so wrapped up in Lori's like world that he just couldn't, he couldn't control his own mind. Like she was a Svengali, like that was always my thing. So everybody get your votes in there. Let's see. I'll be curious to see that. All right, I'm checking. They are still not back there. All right. All right, Candace. I've been super busy and not been here in a long while. We're glad to see you. Happy to see you. Wait, what did Dizzy say? Oh my God, Trump verdict coming down in 25 minutes. So, not to get like sidetracked with that, but Allison and I were having a conversation, and like, I am under the impression that even if Trump is convicted of a felony, that there is nothing in place that stops him from running for president. I mean, if you're a convicted felon, you can't vote. Ironically, it appears, however, that you can still run to be the president of the United States. And Allie was digging into it, I'm like, I don't think, like, I kept reading that there was nothing. I mean, could he be the first guy elected that has to be president from a prison? That would be a bad look. What do you think the rest of the world would say about good old America if our president was ruling the country from a a state penitentiary? Yeah, that would be something. That would be something. Wow. RV, I'm not going to get it. No political debates. That's my rule. Forget about the political side of it. I don't give a shit. Everyone's got their own opinions. I don't even care. Like, if we were to dig into every single president, basically every politician, we'd be able to dig some shit up. I think all politicians suck. How about that? I think they're all like, it's all rich people. Like, it's just a bunch of rich people. Like every year, I'm going to tell you, every election cycle, all right, I'm going to just tell you flat out that this is my write-in. I don't care who's running, because it's all just a bunch of douchebags that, just have a bunch of money, that have the ability to dump a whole bunch of dough into running for president. I vote for Calvin and Hobbes. That's it. That's who I vote for. Judge me if you will. Is it a wasted vote? I think not. I mean, Calvin, just an amazing kid. And that tiger of his was equally amazing. So, yeah, there you go. That's a little known secret about me, that I have a real tendency to always vote for Calvin and Hobbes. If you guys don't, like, you guys are probably all old enough to have read Calvin and Hobbes. To me, was the greatest comic strip of all time. If you have never dove into Calvin and Hobbes, you should. All right. Thank you, Mandy. 15 minutes. Oh, is that what they're saying? Are they saying, was that it? 3:50? Is that what time the verdict came down? Okay, that's good to know. All right, I'm just going to hang. I was thinking about, should I kill it and then start a new one? But we might as well just hang out. So I don't know how many of you guys were able to join Jay and I this morning for our members only, which devolved from not really watching any of Brian Albert's testimony to basically talking about pop culture. So that was fun. We had a good time. I enjoyed that thoroughly, because I love pop culture. I could probably easily pivot and do like another side pod that was all about, okay. So like I'm checking the pulse on this poll. 78%, 121 votes. Yes, on the DP for Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, I'll stay. We're too close. Like it takes me a minute to restart a new live. There's no point in doing that. So we'll just stay. Yeah, no, if you guys missed it, it was great. So we had our patrons from Patreon and our members from our YouTube channels came in. We had a nice crowd. I think we hit like 75, 76 folks just to come in and talk shit. You know, I had a blast doing it. I hope that those of you that were in there had fun. Because we did. We started, I think within like 4 minutes of Albert's testimony, we diverted and just started talking about, you know, how we are in our chat. It devolves into TV show. Like took a trip down memory lane, you know? Oh yeah, exactly. Thanks, Jade. That's exactly it. I love down going memory lane with you guys even on replay. It was great. It was so good. It was like exactly Hobbs for president. 100%. Like, so I'm so old that Calvin and Hobbes was like active as a comic strip when I was in college. And like every morning, you know, I'd go, like they had big dorms at the college I was at. I'd go down like my freshman year and get the school newspaper, which they printed daily. And they always had Calvin and Hobbes in there. So I'd go get my big giant glass of chocolate milk and whatever I ate, which was, I'm sure was something very unhealthy. And then I read Calvin and Hobbes every day. And, you know, it was such a smart, like Bill Watterson was just such a smart guy. And talk about like, he just left at the top of the game. You know, it's like, I always respected him. Farside's great too. More with Mandy, definitely. Farside and Calvin and Hobbes were brilliant stuff. I mean, like, what's better than the miniature snowmen in Calvin and Hobbes? Is there anything better than that? I don't know. I'm not sure. Or the transmogrifier. I mean, shit was the best. Yeah, I've got that same one. The box set of Calvin and Hobbes books. If it wasn't among, oh man, dang, Shay, you had somebody come and like rob your house. It's awful. I can't think of anything more unsettling than to have your house burglarized. Like I don't know that you'd get over that. You know, like you'd always feel uneasy. Like, wouldn't you? Like, if that's what happened, Shay, I'm really sorry to hear that. That is like unsettled. Like, I don't know, man. I'd be like, oof. Like, we gotta fucking move. Like, I can't stay here. I don't give a shit how many locks we have. Like, we gotta get out of here. That's crazy. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. All right, checking in. Yeah, you guys are, I mean, I think the general gist is it's about 80-20 on Chad's going down. All right. Dumb question maybe, but are death penalty sentencing phases the same across the states? No, you must come in a little late, Carrie. No, they're not. They're very different. Every state has different statutes. That's what I was saying. In like, for instance, in Nebraska, there's there has to be a finding that it's going to be a death penalty case. And then the mitigating, aggravating factors are argued in front of a 3-judge panel. Now, I know that Florida switched to that 3-judge panel as well, but I don't know if they stayed with it. Like, there was something going on down in Florida with their death penalty statute that it was ruled unconstitutional at one point, and then they tinkered with it and made the 3-judge panel. And then I thought I read something that they pivoted away from that. Mandy could probably tell us. She's in a state that likes to kill people down there. Like Texas, you guys are real big on the death penalty. You like frying them down there. And I don't know what theirs is, but yeah, to answer your question, Carrie, it's a different procedure everywhere. Like I was actually taken aback today. Like I was assuming, like here in Illinois, just for sentencing in general, because we no longer have the death penalty here. You know, we always do, like, before sentencing happens. What's up, Jennifer Lynn? Thanks for popping in. We always have a pre-sentence investigation done where they kind of dig into the background of the defendant and, you know, they give recommendations. They talk to people, you know, various people in that person's life to see if the guy's a total shitbag, guy or gal, you know, or if this is like a one-off, you know, because you want sentencing to be fair. You know what I mean? Because like I always talk about, we happen to cover murder cases in the true crime world quite a bit. There's a lot of cases, a majority of cases are not murder cases, you know? So it's like part of the defense attorney thing is that you're always trying to make sure that like you can get the state to give a fair sentence for what the crime was, you know? It's like I've always been of the position that like no one in prison for having possession of marijuana should be in prison. To me, that's insane. It's insane. You know, I mean, that's a victimless crime. Like no one should be like, frankly, anything that's victimless, I don't think should constitute prison. It's not to say that if it's a law and you punish it, that you're not punished somehow, but you shouldn't go to prison. Like you don't take away somebody's liberty and freedom for something that was not victimless or that was a victimless crime. You know, I mean, obviously if anybody's injured or killed, you go away. You know, I think that that's what prison should be for violent crimes, you know, but like crimes that like, you know, oh, I got caught with a half ounce of weed. Oh, you're going to go to prison for 6 years. What? Wait, like I've got the, oh, wait, hold on. It was paused. Why are you saying that it's coming up? No, they're still not. I don't think they're back yet, Mandy. 408. When you said they're coming back 415? Holy shit. Wait, guilty through 23 counts. Are you talking about Trump? Whoa. Are you guys talking about Trump? Whoa. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. That's holy shit. I mean, the question is, are they going to take him into custody right now? Like I read an article that they were talking with the Secret Service because, as you know, like former presidents they're always assigned Secret Service. They always have Secret Service. So they were discussing like how they're going to operate with putting him in prison. Wow. This is crazy. Wow, dude. Holy shit. Like, oh my God. Like that ain't no joke, dude. Like that, like, I mean, like without discussing the politics of the reality of it, the people that are just diehard Trumpers, and there are many, many of them, are going to be fucking pissed. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. Oh man, this makes me so nervous. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I hope they come back on Daybell. Man, that is just a scary proposition to me. Because my thing with the 2024 election is like, no matter which way it goes, our country is in like peril. Just because it was like I had never seen our country so divided. Like, because like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Like I like I've had the debates with my friends that are on opposite sides of that for my whole life. You know, we can agree to disagree. You can, like, this wasn't that. That was like something where, man. Oh, you think? All right, we're back. We're back with Chad. Thank God. Phew. Boy, that's great. Chad saved me. The guy finally did something good. He got me out of the whole Trump conversation. What a guy. What a guy. What a guy. Did you guys hear that? All right, let's see. All right, got to make sure. You guys, let me know if you can hear this. I don't know if the sound has started there yet.
All right, once the jurors are
Like,
ready
I was
to be brought in,
literally
they can enter
hearing
the courtroom, please.
the YouTube of it. All right, let's see. Unmute site. All right. I think we got some mumbling. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Say by the bell. Say by the bell. Wow. 45 guilty on 34 counts. Shoo. Sorry, y'all. I'm tweeting the Trump thing. I cannot believe how much shit is going on today. I completely forgot the Trump thing was going on. Completely forgot. Oh my God. I mean, with that many felony counts,
All right, please.
I do not see how he's avoiding prison. Like, wow.
Here's our president counter for you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated.
All right, why am I having the double sound? What the hell's going on? Jesus.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are back on the record on case CR 2221-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell. The court notes that earlier this afternoon, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on several counts that are subject to this capital sentencing phase, including in the verdict form counts 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, count 5 and count 6 of the amended indictment. The court at this time then is going to commence with the capital sentencing phase. I'll note that in this case, the jurors have returned, including the juror alternates that are here as well, and the 12 jurors who returned the verdict under Idaho Code 192515 subsection 5B. The court is using the same jury to conduct this phase of sentencing also. And that statute reads that if the defendant's guilt was determined by a jury verdict, the same jury shall hear the special sentencing proceeding. So we are in that special sentencing proceeding. As I mentioned, the jurors are here and present. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for continuing your jury service. You've again been seated for your continued service in this case. And that's the matter we're taking up at this time. To give you an idea of just the schedule, the court has some preliminary instructions that are going to be read to you this afternoon. We're going to commence then with further evidence on the sentencing phase starting tomorrow morning after I read these preliminary instructions. And the court's proposal on our typical scheduled plan would be to start at 8:30. Is the state going to be ready to proceed at 8:30 with any impact statements that may be offered?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's how we'll run the scheduling at this point then, and I'll inquire as to the jurors going forward. Also, the scheduling we'll have during this phase of the proceedings. They don't need to be limited to the timeframes we've had throughout the trial, including, depending on how long this takes, weekends. So I am essentially leaving up to the jurors their proposed schedule within reason of when we'll work through this proceeding. So the court is going to read some preliminary instructions then to the jurors. And again, you'll receive additional jurors when you retire to deliberate on this part of the case. But for now, the court will just read these and those will be included with you later. So in this case, the defendant in this case has been convicted now of the crimes of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. We will now have a sentencing phase of the trial regarding those offenses. Additional evidence may be presented during the sentencing phase. You should also consider the evidence presented during the trial. Before the death penalty can be considered, the state must prove at least one statutory aggravating circumstance beyond a reasonable doubt. If you unanimously decide that the state has so proven one or more statutory aggravating circumstances, then you must decide whether the imposition of the death penalty would be unjust by weighing all mitigating circumstances against each proven statutory aggravating circumstance. At a separate proceeding, the court will sentence the defendant for other offenses of which you have found the defendant guilty. Instruction number 2. Your duties are to determine the facts, to apply the law set forth in my instruction to those facts, and in this way to decide the case. In so doing, you must follow my instructions regardless of your own opinion of what the law is or should be, or what either side may state the law to be. You must consider them as a whole, not picking out one and disregarding others. The order in which the instructions are given has no significance as to their relative importance. The law requires that your decision be made solely upon the evidence before you. Faithful performance by you of these duties is vital to the administration of justice. In determining the facts, you may consider only the evidence admitted during this trial and during the sentencing phase. The production of evidence in court is governed by rules of law. At times during the sentencing phase, an objection may be made to questions asked a witness or to a witness's answer or to an exhibit. This simply means I'm being asked to decide a particular rule of law. Arguments on the admissibility of evidence are designed to aid the court and not to be considered by you nor affect your deliberations. If I sustain an objection to a question or to an exhibit, the witness may not answer the question or the exhibit may not be considered. Do not attempt to guess what the answer might have been or what the exhibit might have shown. Similarly, if I tell you not to consider a particular statement or exhibit, you should put it out of your mind and not refer to it or rely on it in your later deliberations. During the sentencing phase, I may have to talk with the parties about the rules of law, which should apply in the case. Sometimes that will occur at the bench. Other times you may be excused from the courtroom so that we can discuss those matters. You are not to speculate about any such discussions. They are necessary from time to time and help the sentencing phase run more smoothly. Some of you have probably heard the terms circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, and hearsay evidence. Do not be concerned with those terms. You are to consider all the evidence admitted during the trial and during the sentencing phase. However, the law does not require you to believe all the evidence. As the sole judges of the facts, you must determine what evidence you believe and what weight you attach to it. If any evidence is admitted for a limited purpose, you are not to consider it for any other purpose. There is no magical formula by which one may evaluate testimony. You bring with you to this courtroom all the experience and background of your lives. In your everyday affairs, you determine for yourselves whom you believe, what you believe, and how much weight you attach to what you are told. The same considerations that you use in your everyday dealings in making these decisions are the considerations which you should apply in your deliberations. In deciding what you believe, do not make your decision simply because more witnesses may have testified one way than the other. Your role is to think about the testimony of each witness you hear and decide how much you believe of what the witness had to say. A witness who has special knowledge in a particular matter may give an opinion on that matter. In determining the weight to give such opinion, you should consider the qualifications and credibility of the witnesses and the reasons given for the opinion. You are not bound by such opinion. Give it the weight, if any, to which you deem it entitled. Instruction number 3. It is presumed that no statutory aggravating circumstance exists in this case. This presumption remains throughout the sentencing phase and during your deliberations. The state has the burden of proving the existence of a statutory aggravating circumstance, and that burden remains on the state throughout the sentencing phase. The defendant is not required to prove the absence of any aggravating circumstance, nor is the defendant required to
See you,
produce
Jen.
any evidence at all.
Thanks for everything.
The state must prove the existence of a statutory aggravating circumstance beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is not a mere possible or imaginary doubt. It is a doubt based on reason and common sense. It may arise from a careful and impartial consideration of all the evidence or from lack of evidence. If after considering all the evidence you have a reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt, you must find the defendant not guilty. That in this time then concludes the initial preliminary instructions for the sentencing phase. And the court is going to be in recess then until 8:30 in the morning, when we'll commence with evidence on that phase of the trial. Before we break for the day, does the state have anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll note that the jurors will remain sequestered during these proceedings, and we'll begin again tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you again for your continued service, and that will conclude our matter for today. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go. So essentially what that did was like cleared it up for us. So they're going to start in earnest tomorrow. Essentially arguing what they have to argue. And the state will put on their case in aggravation. Prior will put on a case in mitigation. And they're going to keep it could take a few days depending on, just so you guys have an understanding, like in Illinois, like we could put on medical doctors. It's like a mini trial. Like typically that's what they are. Hey, what's up, Blair? Welcome. You just missed, if you're late to the game, a couple of updates. Chad Daybell, Pumpkinhead, Thumbhead, Mr. Potato Head, whatever you want to call him. He is found guilty on all counts. So he's going down. They have now entered the death penalty phase sentencing. So we're going to find out if he gets sentenced to death. So that's going to happen over the next few days, I imagine. And as an additional little tidbit, the 45th president of the United States has been found guilty on 34 various counts, felony counts. So there's your two big updates right there. Kind of big updates. Kind of crazy. All right. So this is a good question, Shelley. What about John Pryor not qualified for DP? So the way that it works is if you hire private counsel, okay, which John Pryor is, he was not appointed as a public defender. You are allowed to hire whoever you want. If you want to hire a tax attorney to be your lawyer in a criminal death penalty case, you can do that. So that's why whether or not he's qualified as a death penalty guy does not matter, because he's not a public defender. So public defenders have to be DP qualified in order to be appointed to a DP case. Private counsel, you can hire whoever the hell you want. So it's been a great day. It's been a great day. It started with like a really fun live with our members and patrons this morning. And then I love seeing Chad go down. Guy needs to pay. Justice for Tammy, justice for JJ and Ty Lee. It's a big day. It's a big day. And I have friends out there that are feeling very happy today. So that's I'm happy for Kay and Larry Woodcock. I'm happy for Tammy's family. It's good to know. Chad reminds me of Bobby from King of the Hill, all grown up.
Bobby? Oh, the boy just ain't right.
That's my Hank Hill impression, which is fucking spot on. So you don't need to tell me. That's my my impression. All right, so there we go. I think we'll wrap. I think it's a big news day. Big news cycles going. And thank you, Jennifer Lynn, for a little $2 howl before I dip. Remember, guys, I'm gonna go live. I'll give you all a heads up. I'm gonna live stream from CrimeCon when I was just a baby channel. As a matter of fact, I think it was my first ever live stream last year when I decided to start a YouTube channel. I did it live from CrimeCon. It was very shaky. Like I was walking around with my phone like this. So I have a stabilizer. I'm going to do the same thing. Go talk to a bunch of creators, whether it be YouTube podcasters. So I hope I get a decent audience. I'll give you guys some shout outs. And if you guys want to have me talk to anybody in particular, you're like, oh man, there's a particular podcast I also wanted you to talk to, or, go talk to Emily D. Baker, or go talk to, whoever. I will try to do that. Yeah, Allie is definitely my stabilizer. But she also got me a contraption. It's like a robot arm. As you can imagine, I love it. It's a robot arm. So yeah, look for that. I'll figure out. I'm looking probably to do it Saturday morning. So before maybe you guys all get started with your days and dealing with your own lives and getting out there on what's I'm sure to be a beautiful weekend. Maybe hang with us on that live for a bit. It should be a good time. I think I'm going to try to do it with Jay as a duel, so he could jump on, and it'll help me because Jay can kind of read through chats and be like, because I'll have my phone, and it's hard for me to read the chats. Find Coffin Dapper, Jinxie. I'd happily find Jennifer. I didn't block her. She blocked me. People are like, oh, Bob's obsessed with Jennifer Coffinduffer. I'm like, I haven't thought about Jennifer Coffinduffer until Allie brought her up the other night. In months. It's been kind of glorious, actually. Fun Pa. Oh, look, she keeps calling me Foo Pa. To fucking Mandy. Oh, Mandy. Oh, definitely. Allie's my everything, including stabilizer. And I ain't shy about it. Oh, speaking of the devil. There she is. She gave me a call. She's down. She's back from baby hugs. Baby hugs. All right. Enough of my rambling. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. Thank you to Don Park for two $20 hollers. Jen for that amazing $50 holla. Joe Schmo for becoming a new member. Shannon N for being a member, an OG, 7 months. A to Z, another AG, OG for 7 months. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Without you guys, I'm nada. Nothing. I'm just some dude talking into the void. So you remember that. And I hope what? That's definitely my love. It's like a form of my line. Here's Scarlett like calling me out. Man, she's rough. All right, you guys are the best in the business. I will see you this weekend from CrimeCon. Make sure you check it out. Later, Gators.
Without him.
Hot